Oh, Lord have
show
mercy.
called Point Blank.
It's gonna be
I'm
one of them
Adolphus Pruitt.
And I'm the Reverend Darryl Gray, and it's going to be one of those kind of shows.
And today especially, and you know how, and I'm going to set this up. Can I set this up?
Please set it up.
Let me set this up. Ladies and gentlemen, because we got people listening from all over, not just this area, but the St. Louis region is made of 15, believe it or not, 15 different counties. A few in Illinois.
Oh, okay.
And a few in Missouri. And out of all those counties, the two with the most population and create the most jobs are St. Louis City, which is a city and a county, and St. Louis County. And St. Louis City has its own judicial system.
Yeah.
It has the 22nd Judicial Circuit. We have our own courts.
All of that.
Our own judges. Our own sheriffs. Our own jails.
Got all of that.
And our own prosecutor.
Which we call a circuit attorney.
Then St. Louis County has its own courts, the 21st Judicial Circuit.
Yes, it does.
It has its own judges. It has a and it has its own prosecutor. But the one other thing that St. Louis County has is, I think the number would be 88 cities and 55 police departments. St. Louis is one city with one police department.
The county has 88 cities and how many police departments?
At least 55 police departments.
Lord have mercy.
And so, and out of those 88, was it four?
Four mayors.
Four mayors.
Four mayors.
So out of 88 mayors, four of them decided that it was in the best interest of the region.
The whole region. The whole region.
15 counties. It invested the whole region that we merge our prosecutor's office, the city prosecutor's office, and the county one. And ladies and gentlemen, both of them are black. But matter of fact, it's the first African-American prosecutor in each one of them.
In each one.
And they were going to say, we need to merge the blackness. Now, they trying to bring black folks together.
White folk, hey, good white. I mean, good white folk. They said we got to merge the blacks.
What are they
we got to bring the blacks together.
They bring us together.
They bring the blacks together.
Bringing us together. So I think we need to bring a guest in here out of St. Louis County. He ain't one of those mayors.
No, he's not one of those.
He wasn't one of those four.
No, listen, we are very pleased to have with us Mayor Brian Jackson. He's the mayor of the city of Beverly Hills. Not Beverly Hills, California, y'all. Beverly Hills, Missouri. And not only is he a mayor, he is also an ordained pastor as well. Good friend. This guy is a champion, not only for his community, but he's a champion for this region.
And he represents our organization.
And he represents 24-1 clergy.
Partnership.
In partnership with 24-1 Clergy Coalition. I mean, I'll let him talk for himself. Mayor Brian Jackson, welcome to Point Blank. You've heard our opening, Doc, and you and I have talked about it. But and you've never shied away from the truth and your opinion. But as Adolphus said, 88 mayors out there, and you got 4 white mayors who have decided that they can speak on behalf of the city and the county of St. Louis, and particularly black elected officials. What say ye, Mayor?
Well, first of all, thank you, Reverend Darryl Gray, and we're appreciative and applaud your work that you do for our communities and how you are vocal and speaking out. And thank you, Adolphus Pruitt, for heading up the NAACP and always available to speak out. Thank you for standing with part of my family when my nephew, Damian Baker, was murdered down there downtown. And now the D. Bake Foundation can count itself started because it has support from people like yourself. But it's one of the things that I say as it relates to this particular issue with this prosecutor issue. If you do something for us without us, then you do it to us. And so we stand under the banner of saying not without us.
Not without us.
So we have fallen victim to people who look in and feel that they know better for us, and boldly they'll step out because they believe, and rightly so, they have authority within their boundaries of their city. But when you start talking about the St. Louis County prosecutor, it's no longer about just the boundaries within your city. And if you're going to speak, it's best that you stay within your bounds as you speak on it, because for 24/1 Municipal Partnerships, speaking on behalf of our chair, the Mayor James McGee, and I'm the vice chair, and speaking on behalf of 24/1 Partnerships, I can tell you that if there's 84 to 86% of the people in St. Louis County that don't want to merge with the city, then I can almost guarantee you that it's probably close to that percentage that don't want to see our young first black prosecuting attorney taken away from cases and from projects that need to be focused on in St. Louis County, and merge them with anything that's going on in the city. They have their own government, they have their own courts, they have their own issues to deal with, and we have our own in St. Louis County. I would have rather those mayors who saw fit to go on national TV, go on the local news rather. I would rather them have reached out to the rest of us mayors to see if we can get a conversation around that and include the prosecutor and everybody and all those involved, so we can have a conversation. But when you take it upon yourself to step out of the boundaries of your city and join with just a few others and speak for the entire St. Louis County, I believe that you've gotten beside yourself. So I'm hoping that these men will give it, these leaders will give it another thought. And if they want to have a conversation like that, I would hope that they would reach out by letter, by email, by phone call, and see if we can get a conversation to coalesce around that, because then everybody, all these 88 mayors, can talk to their own citizens. And then when they come and gather around, they can talk from what their citizens would like to see. And I would venture to say that the percentages will be about the same as far as doing anything with the city. The county residents don't want any part of anything that's going on in the city. So that being said, I'll stop right there. I don't know how much how sanitized you want me to be with it. I don't want to get your program turned off.
No. And you know what, Mayor? So here's what's so unique about this, and this is the thing that gets me most. And I heard this in the Senate hearing from the senator out of St. Charles County. No, from the senator out of St. Charles County, and from the prior prosecutor of St. Charles County, who just recently resigned, and they said it had nothing to do with his drunk driving charge, but I just brought that up because we want to keep it. He resigned
under a cloud.
Okay, well, he, under the influence too, but I mean, but that don't mean nothing.
That don't mean that.
But they said, well, the crime in the city is impacting the region, but what they did not say, what the folks in St. Charles said, and what the senator out of St. Charles said, and the prosecutor out of St. Charles said, and the senator, I think it was out of Jefferson County somewhere, said, hey, them folks in the city are coming out to our areas, committing crime.
That's what they said.
And driving the crime in our area, and this and that. And I'm like, so you want to come up with, and your solution,
right,
to dealing with the people you saying in the city that's coming out to your municipality committing crime, your solution to it is to reduce the number of prosecutors to one and merge them and get them both jurisdictions to try to govern. That's your solution versus dealing with the root causes of crime, which is poverty,
Right.
education. You know, if we say, listen, if I went to them and said, listen, if we merge the educational systems, and we can guarantee you that kids would learn better and the crime would go down, they would fight it. They would say, no, we're not merging the school district. But the only thing they can come up
Right.
with is that, and Mary, before I know Darryl's gonna jump in, before I say that, and make it even worse. Make it even worse. And folks, hear me loud and clear. And you want to merge them with merge the prosecutor's office, and in merging them, now you will put all of the assistant prosecutors as members of the FOP.
As FOP. I mean, but you know,
now you get the Fraternal Order
Right.
Police, and I don't know how that's going to work out in St. Louis County, because I don't know when the prosecutor, if the prosecutor is prosecuting the police, and he's a part of the union
Right.
that's defending the police.
That's right, Doc.
And man, we're going to take a quick break. I said a mouthful there, didn't I?
That was a lot.
We're going to take a quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. This is Point Black. We're black.
Thank you so much, Brother Mayor. You and to our listening audience, we're working with Adolphus. We're really working with him. We've got him from saying "I'm back." We got him. He doesn't say that as much. Now he's reminding us that we're black. So, Mayor, you were getting ready to say something right at the edge of the break in response to what Adolphus was saying.
Well, one of the things that he's mentioning is the fact that we have individuals. There's a gun problem in our state that was created in our state legislature. They don't want to fix that. They want to come against transgenders. They want to come against social media and saying the child shouldn't be able to get on TikTok or any of those social media platforms because they're not old enough, but you're making it okay for them to carry a gun. And so when you start to look at crime, these young people and people do what they feel they can get away with. And when you loosen the belt too loose, and at the same time not tightening the belt, putting money where it needs to be put, as Brother Adolphus was saying, if you don't put money into education, on the front end,
Right.
then you're going to have to put it into prisons on the back end.
And
living wage jobs is the best deterrent for crime. That's why we're doing so much to try to get
and Brother Mayor,
jobs.
I think we all agree. I mean, I don't think you'd get any argument with anybody in this studio that when we talk about crime, there needs to be an emphasis on crime prevention. I think most of the studies will tell you also that when we talk about those people who are committing crimes, that for the most part, you're talking about the same group. You're not talking about a whole community committing crime, but within our community, statistics say that those who are committing the crime, you can find them within that 6%. That 6% are the same people who are committing the crimes. And so, to Pruitt's point, and to your point, if you really want to address crime, be it in St. Louis City, be it in St. Louis County, be it in St. Charles or St. Charles County, or Jefferson County or Jackson County, if you really want to address crime, then do it on the front end. And I think that's what we're saying. But coming up with this, we have a mystical, magical solution for white mayors who have absolutely nothing to do with the city, who will say, Adolphus, well, it's regional. It's a regional problem. It's not a city problem. It's a regional problem because we can't go downtown to the soccer game, and we can't go downtown to the hockey game, and we can't go downtown to the baseball game, and we can't go downtown to the semi-pro football game. We can't go down, but they can still come downtown to work.
Right.
But we can't come downtown for recreation because somebody's going to break in my car and steal my gun. Well, don't bring your doggone gun to the city. And then if you got to lock it in your car, it ain't with you anyway. I'm saying all this to say, Mayor, I agree that it's a regional problem. But I also agree with you that 3 white mayors, without having the decency and the respect to talk to black elected officials, their colleagues, their counterparts, but they're going to get on TV and pronounce this is what's best for the region. And they don't even talk to us. They don't talk to you, Brother Mayor. They don't talk to Mayor McGee. They don't talk to Wesley Bell. They don't talk to Kim Gardner. I mean, come on. They don't talk to Shalonda Webb. They don't talk to my sister.
Rita Days.
Out in the county. Because these are county guys. They don't talk to Mayor Tashara Jones, who has a great relationship with Sam Page. So these 4 men, so if they're not talking to this group of people, well, who in the hell are they talking to? They talking to their friends in Jefferson City? Are they talking to the executive out in the executive person
in St.
County
Charles?
executive? Yeah,
county executive.
I mean, this
Sam Page.
but not even Page. I don't think they're talking to Sam. I think that they're talking to county executives in St. Charles County. I think they're talking to state representatives from St. Charles County and maybe South County. But they're not. But my point, to your point, Mayor Jackson, they didn't have the courtesy to come to black mayors, their counterparts in a municipal league of municipal mayors or the association of local mayors. They didn't even come to y'all and say, listen, what do y'all think? But it's happening around the country, Mayor Jackson.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah. So as you said that, let me chime this in real quick. I just came back from being in Washington, D.C. for a week. It was African American Mayors Association conference. Everybody in the Biden administration came to present to us. A reception was held for us at the vice president's residence for many of us mayors. We were able to go to the vice president's residence, and Kamala Harris did a wonderful speech about some of the things that they are doing. But there was a fireside chat that was done with 4 of the big 4 mayors. African American mayors, Mayor Sylvester Turner of Houston, Texas, the mayor of Los Angeles, California, the Mayor Lori Lightfoot of Chicago, and Eric Adams from New York. These mayors were able to talk about some of the challenges they face, which are the same, but at the same time is on a larger scale.
Right.
And they talked about some of the challenges. Some of their challenges, even though the makeup of their cities are different in St. Louis County and St. Louis City, some of their challenges are the same but magnified. But they face the same thing. There's always people who want to stand on the outside, look in, and influence how things should go within that boundary. And this is the part of the disrespect, like you say, that happens all over the country. As soon as they see black leadership, they feel like if something's going wrong, they know better. Well, let me take you back, because I'm not no young man. I'll be 60 years old this year. And
You're still a baby. You're still a baby, Mayor.
Yeah, I grew up in North St. Louis, though, and I was part of the crime element of North St. Louis for a while. But what I will tell you is, it doesn't matter whether it's a white mayor or a black mayor. There was crime in St. Louis City. There was more murders in St. Louis City when I was coming up than there are now. You go back and check the numbers for yourself. There was crime. And you had Ben Shamel. There was the mayor. That didn't make a difference. So the answer is not who's prosecuting. The answer is, and I've written a I've written the shell of a piece of legislation that I wanted to get to somebody's eyes federally, and it's called the American Education Equality Act. And to my brother Adolphus Pruitt, if they would enact something like that, what it does is create a level playing field so that all school districts are funded the same by doing a study and saying, what does it take to educate a child in America? Once they get that number, if that school district in that underserved area don't come to that level, then the federal government kicks in and brings them up to that level that they know they need to be funded in order to educate children the same. Now they can go after some of the same teachers that some of our affluent school districts do. But
Mayor, even with that act, and I agree that we need our schools to be funded at a level, that makes sense, and where young people can be educated and teachers can get paid and we can provide the resources. But you mentioned one of those cities in the Big Four, Houston. Well, in Houston, you got the state government in Houston trying to take away authority from school boards in Houston that are predominantly black and brown school boards. And so, I mean, you were in Jefferson City when we went up, when the Speaker of the House cut the mic off of a black elected official. And so where you mentioned local control versus state control. Well, local control is black mayor, state control is white governor. We talk about this thing with the circuit attorney and the state being able to come in and determine who our circuit attorney is going to be, because in their minds, they're not putting enough black folk in jail. And to Adolphus's point, we talked about Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah. Well, Mayor, I'm going to read something out. There's an article, and it has something in there that says it all. And because I asked you that because I'm dying to see those four mayors, what party they belong to. But it says, in the final phase of the midterm campaign, Republicans are intensifying their focus on crime and public safety, hoping to shift the debate into the political terrain that many of the party's strategists and candidates view as favorable. The strategy seeks to capitalize on some voters' fears about safety at the pandemic-fueled crime surge that in some cities has yet to fully recede, but it has swiftly drawn criticism as a return to sometimes deceptive or racially divisive messaging. Right. In other words, the Republican Party has a strategy across this country, and in states they are implementing it that we want to tie high crime to Democratic elected officials as a way for us to win in the 2024 election cycle, and so that's what the Republican Party is doing in Jefferson City. The Republicans are the ones introducing these bills and pushing this. So when I heard this from the four mayors in the county, I'm like, now wait a minute, now are they buying the two? Or they joining the Republican strategy?
Buying or selling?
Yeah, I just figured they part of the strategy. So, Mayor, I don't know them, but are they all Democrats, or are they Democrats and Republicans? I'm trying to understand what party affiliation.
They call it politics. Well, they call it politics, Brother Adolphus. They call it politics, and so everybody creates a narrative in politics. Whatever the political party, they create a narrative, and everybody run with the narrative. Right. The problem with this narrative is it's dangerous because we look at all of the mass shootings in the United States, and over 95% of them are Caucasians with assault weapons. Right. And so, if you really wanted to make a difference in crime, these bills that came through that you could have passed easily that had to do with responsible gun ownership, background checks, red flag laws, and things of this nature. If you would put some money into mental health and things like this, so that you can make sure that these people getting the resources and the help they need, and on the other end, do better as it relates to education, and at the same time help these young people get living wage jobs. I've never seen a young man making $36, $40 an hour that's going out at night standing in the cold. Now, because I was one of those that used to stand in the cold, breaking in cars and those kind of things back in my younger teenage days, who wants to be out in 20-degree weather because he's hungry, trying to break in a car still out of store? Nobody. And so if you get that man another option, he'll choose another option. But what they're doing, they're just playing games with crime. They're not trying to solve any crime.
No
They're
doubt.
not trying to fix the crime problem. They're playing political games with it to get to try to get to one up the Democrats. And so we as citizens, we can't fall for those tricks. We understand what they're doing. If they cared so much about police, they wouldn't do police like they do and put them, put them on the other end of a barrel that's really have a higher capacity than they even carry in their own squad car.
No, I understand. And Mary, I think you're right. I think you and Adolphus have both hit the nail on the head. What we do have a gun problem, and we do have at least almost 40 states, 37 states, Republican GOP-led states, as Adolphus said, who are following verbatim the GOP playbook for 24.
Yeah, but and going back to what you just said, Mayor, now I really want the listening audience to understand this. There are, like I said, there are 88 cities, municipalities in St. Louis County. 24 of them,
Right.
24 of them have gotten together over a decade and are working together as a single unit to address the issues and a lot of the issues are the primary drivers of crime.
Right.
And the majority of these municipalities are African American.
Right.
So we got 24 mayors, majority African American, working together to try to do this. So but you would think that means that the rest of the county and the rest of the state will ensure that 24 got all the resources they needed, because if they're able to turn around that population that they represent,
that 6%
the crime will go down.
Right. If you know, Brother Mayor, if you know, and the reality is, the police know. When you out there doing what you were doing, you think they knew what you were doing out there. But for the most part, they know through informants, through their standard operation procedure. But you mentioned another point too. And we make it fair. We're not anti-police. We're very pro-public safety. We are a pro-public safety show.
Yeah.
And so we make that very clear. But I like Pruitt, I don't want our listeners to lose this, that this is not just St. Louis and County St. Louis City. That this whole thing with these four mayors, that this is a small indication of a larger situation. You got these four mayors, but you've got the state of Missouri, who believes that white, male, for the most part, Republicans in Jeff City should be able to determine who black leadership is and how black leadership operates, but not just in Missouri. In Houston, as you mentioned, with the school board, in Jackson, Mississippi, Wisconsin, Fulton County, Georgia. You're talking about in Georgia, you've got a community in the city of Georgia, Buckhead, which is one of the richest communities in the city, that they want to secede from Atlanta. They don't want to be part of Atlanta. And so Pruitt said it. There is part of their talking points, their main talking points.
But why is these four mayors buying into this agenda and this effort to undermine black Democrats and the black prosecutor? I'm trying to understand why those four mayors on board with
Because
that.
they're part of the problem. They're not part of the solution, Adolphus.
so they're not.
These
I
three,
will guarantee
these four
you
white
they
mayors are
won't
part of the
solve one.
problem. What was that, Mayor?
Well, here's the thing that really makes no sense, because I understand the court system as well. It would not matter if you join Kim Gardner and Wesley Bell and all the prosecutors from Missouri. At the end of the day, it's a judge that's going to adjudicate whatever the case is and sentence somebody somewhere. So just joining somebody to prepare a case to put before a judge is not going to stop crime. So it's actually a foolish thing to even entertain, saying if I put these two black prosecutors together, they're going to all of a sudden clear hundreds of cases, and all these people going to be behind bars and crime going to drop.
But Mayor, to Pruitt's point, and Pruitt and I, we're going to double down on you on this one. We're going to double down. Why, in your estimation, I know this is just your opinion, but you're a mayor and you work with these cats. Why, how could these four mayors think that they could get away with the comment that they made and the recommendation that they made and think that there would be no pushback? Like as Pruitt said, what would cause them to think that they were the ones?
And actually, you know what else? Hey, Mayor, and you know what they implying, don't you?
Yeah.
They implying that because if you do that, Wesley Bell would lock all these black folks up that Kim ain't locking up. Now, that's what they're implying.
They're saying that Wesley would lock up more than Kim.
That's what they said. They said that, hey, Kim, let's be clear. Kim ain't locking up enough of these Negroes.
What they say?
So let's merge it off with Wesley Bell. And Wesley lock them up.
Now, I don't believe that, Wes. I don't believe that.
But that's what they're implying.
I don't believe that, Wes, because I know you listen to the show, Wes.
I know, but that's what they're implying. They're implying that's what, and they're implying that if he locked up enough of them, crime would go down. So let me ask you this: is crime down in St. Louis County?
But wait a minute, but don't answer that question until after the break, man. Hold it. We got to go to a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. This is some riveting radio. Stay tuned to Point Black. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I told you this was going to be riveting. Listen, we're trying to keep it real up here. We really are. Adolphus made, I think, an excellent point and something to consider. If, in fact, these four mayors have suggested that crime would be better addressed under a Wesley Bell led prosecution versus a Kim Gardner led prosecution environment. I mean, Pruitt's right. Is that what they're suggesting? And if they're suggesting that, why would they suggest that?
And even more interesting, hold on, man, even more interesting. And remember, the county only gets to prosecute so much of it because a lot of the municipalities have their own courts.
Oh, my Lord, yes. So, that's a real good point, too.
Yeah, so Kim gets it. Now, St. Louis has a municipal court, too.
Right.
But a lot of them have their own court, so he's only really getting the significant state charges.
And Brother Mayor, if in fact this pipe dream were to happen and they were to merge the two, and it could be done through Jeff City could do it, then is that a precursor to merging the police after you merge the prosecutors?
So let me answer that this way, because this is very important stuff that y'all talking about right now, because what you really are talking about is something that's happening in other states across this country, and that's the silencing of the vote. You'll be taking away the vote of the citizens of the city of St. Louis doing anything with a prosecutor. And I believe if that judge adjudicates correctly, however you feel about how Kim is doing her job, I believe that should still be something that should go to the voters and let the voters vote. Here we have a president that was twice impeached, started an insurrection, and they say he can become president even if he's in jail. And so you have a prosecutor that you say she's not prosecuting enough cases, and you want to weigh in to move her through the courts and disqualify the vote of every voter in the city of St. Louis. Now, we also elect Wesley Bell, but the citizens of St. Louis County didn't elect Wesley Bell to prosecute cases in the city of St. Louis. We elected him to prosecute cases that come through the courts in St. Louis County. And so when you start messing with the vote of citizens, therein lies a problem, because when it was another group that thought that their vote was being disallowed, they almost changed the way our democracy in one day. And so here you are about to disqualify the votes of so many citizens of St. Louis County on the opinion of 4 mayors out of 88. And that sends a message, that should send a chill down the spine, not just of black people,
right?
But if you're a citizen in the state of Missouri, you ought to have a problem with that kind of thinking.
I like your thinking, Mayor.
Push back against that.
I like your thinking. I think, and Pruitt mentioned it, throughout the country, Republican-controlled state governments are opening an explosive new front in their decade-long drive to exert more control over the decisions and decision makers in Democratic-run cities and counties, from Florida and Mississippi to Georgia, Texas, Missouri. Red states are taking aggressive new steps to seize control. We're talking about they want to seize control over local prosecutors, city policing policies, or both. And so, I mean, this is real. And the folk in Jackson are saying that what they just did in Jackson is going to take them back to the Jim Crow day. And I think that we're saying the same thing in Mississippi. We're seeing the same thing in Missouri. You see the GOP, who is trying to take the legs out of. And I think, Brother Mayor Adolphus, I think, as you said, crime, the boogeyman. You telling these 4 white mayors said, if you don't address crime in the city of St. Louis, then crime is going to come to a municipality near you. And I think that that's basically what they're saying. It is all about fear. But this isn't new, Brother Mayor. This whole idea of having people so afraid that if we don't address it now, and only we can address it because they're not doing it.
Well, let me say this, and then I'm going to time out for a minute and let y'all go, because I want to drop this one thing in. It was refreshing to me, because I want you to know these young people ain't having it. I was in D.C. all last week at the African American Mayors Association, and I will tell you, I was able to spend time with and break bread with a young man who is the youngest African American mayor in the United States. He's a 19-year-old young black male, and he had problems with some things that they were doing in his little city, and so he ran at 19 years old, and he's now the mayor of Earl, Arkansas, at 19. At 19 years old, I ran into a 25-year-old mayor of DeSoto, Texas. Young lady decided to run and won. I ran into a 30-year-old. I ran into a 33-year-old, 27-year-old. That's the mayor of Newport News, Virginia. Wes Moore came and spoke. The only black governor in the United States, young man, speaks very well. And we had so many young mayors that were there. And these young people ain't having it. Like you saw those young men, in Tennessee. These young people ain't having it. They are standing up, and we better not sell them short, because they not buying it. They standing up. They coming forward. And I believe that we need to let these young people know, all of us that are seasoned are not sitting in our houses with our remote control. Right. Young man, if you stand up, we will get out here with you. We will walk with you. We will get at the table with you. We will fight alongside you for what it is that y'all trying to fight for. And I think that's what has to happen when we have 4 mayors like this that come out and say they know better than we as a group. And I'm sure the 24-1 Municipal Partnership, speaking for Mayor McGee, I'm sure Mayor McGee will make a call and try to get a meeting as soon as we can with these 4 mayors and say, hey, let's not exclude each other. Let's include each other. Reach out to all the mayors. Let's get in a room and let's talk about why this is a bad idea or why it's a good idea. And everybody make their point. And when we come away, let's come away and not do it in the media, but amongst ourselves, let's say what's best for St. Louis County and do what we know our citizens want us to do. And if 84 to 86% of them don't want us merging with the county, with the city, then I know 84 to 86% or somewhere close to that don't want us merging no prosecuting attorney and our courts like that.
There you go.
That's just my take.
Hey, let me ask you this. The mayors, these 4 mayors specifically, how, and you may know, may not know, but how proactive have they been in supporting issues that help what you guys are trying to do with 24-1?
Interesting point.
Well, not at all, actually. 24-1 municipal partnerships, I've been around, I've been an elected official since 2002. 24-1 has been around. I've been working with 24-1 since 2009, and we worked together to do so many things. We've been recognized all the way up to Obama's White House. We just got an award from East West Gateway for getting together and working together to create a master land use plan for our entire footprint. We did a street assessment together. We do so many things together.
Oh, great.
At the same time, we've been the ones fighting for education. We get on a bus and go up there for Child Advocacy Day, join with Kansas City and St. Louis Public Schools to go up and fight for education in Missouri. And so we don't see these mayors then. So don't get out and speak for us on your own, and you know that you're not in the fight with us. Wow. But come out with us and let's fight together. If you say crime is going to cross your border, then it's the same for education. It's the same for jobs. So we have to fight for all things collectively together if we're going to collaborate to do things together. But don't try to do something for us without us, because then you're doing it to us, and I'm not going to stand for nobody to just do nothing to me. I'm going to say something.
Appreciate it, Mayor. I want to make sure we get this in, and don't go anywhere yet, Mayor, but we want to let people know that AM stations are under attack, y'all. We need to let people know AM stations may not be installed in new cars. Now, for Adolphus, that won't matter, because y'all see what he drives. He got an AM, he got a hoopty. He gonna always have that hoopty, so he gonna have an AM radio in his hoopty.
I got a transistor radio. I sit up on the dash.
That's what I'm saying. But for some of the younger brothers and sisters and people who are able to buy new cars, listen. We have to tell our listeners, tell your family, tell your friends to text the letters AM to 52886. Text the letters AM to 52886. You want to tell Congress, call Cori Bush. Call Congresswoman Cori Bush. Call the two U.S. representatives, the one that puts his fists up all the time. Tell him to put his fists up for AM radio. We can't lose our voices. We have to make this a big deal. Some people say you don't need radio because you can get alerts on your phone. It's not the same. FEMA uses it. First responders use it. And if you've got story ideas, if you got questions, if you want to ask Adolphus the hard question, you can call us at 314-329-5050. 314-329-5050. Now you got to leave a message. BJ will pick it up. Somebody will pick it up. If it's a nasty message, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not answering it. Or you can go to the iHeartRadio app and push the talk mic. And you can leave your messages, your comments, your criticisms, whatever. Leave it for us. We'll definitely get back to you.
Hey, Mayor, here's a question I have. And I think I mentioned it before, but let's just really get to it real quick. If the things you all envision in 24-1, if all of that happened, what sort of impact you think it would have on St. Louis County? We're gonna leave right after you say this. So you're really getting the last word in, and Darryl gonna take us out. But What if you got? You say you did the one study, you did an assessment of the blocks and all that. If you got everything you needed, what impact you feel that would have on St. Louis County?
Well, I believe if we get most of the things that we're trying to get, if we had, well, you said utopia. So if we get everything we're trying to get, we would have a better education system. We would have jobs for our young people. We would have seniors that are able to have the resources they need to make sure that they can stay in their homes, fix their homes, and be able to have access to healthy food options, access to, for our young people to have access to recreation, and also the tutoring and education. And so as we continue to work on our own taxing district, we're also looking at our own public works district. One thing I'm writing up that you're talking about, the AM radios, one thing I'm writing up because disasters, because we're living in a climate that's warming the earth a little more than ever. We're trying to get radios, the weather radios that don't need batteries in every home. If the power goes out, if your cell phone dies, these weather radios will still go. And so I'm trying to work with the Northeast Fire District. I got to finish writing it up to try to get them to use some of these ARPA funds or other monies or grants that they can get to try to supply these weather radios, especially in the homes of our seniors, who, if the power goes out, at least they'll be able to hear as it relates to a disaster in their area of some sort.
All right,
so
Brother Mayor.
There are many things that we're trying to do and work with our street and transportation. We're trying to work with that and make sure that our people have access to everything they need. Crime is already down. Beverly Hills has some of the lowest
Brother
crime.
Mayor, I'm gonna have to let you. You know, I know you a mayor and a preacher. You know, I know you a mayor and a preacher, and I know when a mayor and a preacher get. But you know what? We have just run out of time. We're gonna ask you back in the near future. We want to hear more about what's going on, particularly with 24/1. But ladies and gentlemen, you know, again, let's be mindful of what's going on around us. Let's be mindful of who's talking for us and who's talking against us. Once again, this has been another edition of Point Black. See you.